Hello, hello, beautiful people, mi gente bella. Welcome to another edition of Santana Says, where we talk about everything from roadblocks to relationships, everything in between, and the overall journey of life. I'm excited as always to bring you another edition of the show, but also another wonderful guest. And we are continuing with our Hispanic Heritage Month series. So, el mes de la herencia hispana, you know what I'm saying? What's up? You know what I'm saying? Last one we did Spanglish, girl. So we was up here, you know what I'm saying? Cooking it up, you know what I'm saying? Doing the thanks. Doing the thanks.
Okay.
But we are keeping with, like talking, honoring members of the Latina community, things that are happening, all these things. But the cool thing is somebody that I go way back with, almost to diapers. You know what I'm saying? We've known each other forever. I did find some throwback photos.
Did you?
Like, girl, yeah. And with the little puppy that we had back then. It was like all these things. I'll show you later.
To see them.
Yeah. So, yes. But could you, if you could, for the people that don't know you as well as I do, who are you? A little bit about what you do, brought you here today.
What I do?
Sure.
Okay, I'm Tony.
Yes.
Right now, what I do for NASA.
Hey.
Well, I do work for a NASA contractor.
Okay.
But I am a systems safety engineer.
Dang, okay.
Yep. So right now, my primary focus is payloads that launch and return from the International Space Station.
Oh, dang. Okay, so we're just gonna say that casually, like that's just what people do. I do that all the time, girl. I did that last week. Okay, but that's really cool. Okay, so and currently you do that.
Yes.
But then what other positions have you had prior to this? Is anything that has helped you develop experience into it, or what other things have you done?
So previously, before this job, because actually this is my dream job.
Hey,
okay? So I still got more I would like to accomplish, but I'm at a good place right now. The goal is to eventually become a civil servant, which would be a NASA employee. But
nice.
So previously, before this, I was a manufacturing engineer.
Okay.
So I worked in manufacturing environments for 2 other companies.
Okay.
And then before that, I was in school. So.
Oh yeah.
I did lots of things before that. I was a nail technician.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I actually almost forgot about that one.
Yeah.
Did my nails back in the day.
Right. I was a nail technician for a while, all the way through college.
Right.
So it's been a journey.
All right. Definitely to be able to
a major journey. Yes.
And that's actually what I was going to ask. So so engineering, we did have somebody before. So shout out to Miss Fitzgerald, that came on the show. But she let us know that she delved into engineering, but she didn't stay there. She actually, you know what I mean? So for her, it was but it was a great exposure, you know what I mean? And she was able to tell her students about the world of engineering.
Yeah.
But that's where she ended up. She ended up teaching, doing all that.
It's funny because when anybody, I'll even say my boss right now.
Yeah.
Just sometimes we just have conversations, just, talking. And somehow I told her that I used to be a nail technician and I had my cosmetology license.
Right.
She said, "Oh, it all makes sense." I'm like,
what does that mean?
You know what? I get that a lot, right? Because of the way I look.
Right.
Right. I'm not your standard engineer looking person. Right. I mean, yeah. So it's.
Oh, but see, okay, but that's a whole word though.
Yes.
I'm not gonna lie.
Yes.
Because and those who cannot see her, she is gorgeous, y'all. You know what I'm saying? No. And also I think it is an interesting mix. Your background is unique. You know what I mean? So you are Latina, but you are also Filipino.
Yep.
Which is really cool to me. I always thought that was really cool, by the way. I was like, girl, she's so very, love her.
Yeah.
But yeah, and and it's an interesting background, which we'll get into that in a second as well.
Yeah.
But it's just but that is the thing though. So I feel like also as women, it's also very easy to get pigeonholed. You know what I mean? And be like, girl, engineer.
Yes.
Why are you even thinking about that?
All the things.
Why are you? Yeah. So did you notice that also happen to you?
Yes. I mean, working in manufacturing is toxic. I mean, toxic. Honestly, though, that never really bothered me.
Right.
Right. Honestly, I owned it.
Yep.
I walked into a room, I got my eyeliner on, my hair is done.
Yep.
I look good, I feel good.
Right.
I don't care.
Yep.
But I know what I'm talking about, and I'm still going to tell you what it is.
Yep.
And, do things for my job.
Yeah, exactly.
But it has always been very interesting. First of all, my name is Tony.
Right. Oh, yeah, that is true.
So I always get mistaken for a man. And then on top of that, when they actually see me, it's like a double whammy, right? So when I'll go to like customers or meetings and they haven't met me formally, and it's really just, okay, hey, finally they see me, oh, this is Tony, and that you could see it in their face. I mean, it's a man's world, and when I walk into it, it is like I'm a unicorn.
Okay.
And honestly, it's not just me though.
Right.
I mean, it's any woman in engineering it's tough, but I laugh. I love it.
Yeah, exactly.
I love it because now I got your attention.
Yep. Exactly.
And we're going to get this done. So.
Absolutely. And the thing is too, like, and even if they hadn't considered that was the case, I love that you put face to that though. They're like, no, but we are here though.
Yeah.
There are women in engineering actually, you know what I mean? And so, and that's actually why you're here, one of the main reasons.
And I'm so happy I'm here.
Yes. And I'm glad. Same. Because I was like, no, people need to hear that, y'all. You know what I'm saying? You deserve, like, always, I love having these episodes where we talk about taking up space. You know what I mean? You do have things to contribute, all those things, but you ain't not about to get counted out. You know what I'm saying? Because of your gender or because of your background or because of your interest. Because the other thing is, a lot of us, girl, I even was thinking when it goes back to the beauty, I would actually love to take a little bit more tips, girl. You want to take me back? You know what I'm saying? Give me a little makeup. You know what I'm saying? I'm still working on it. Still journey and work in progress. But like, it's a nice thing to value, but that doesn't mean you ain't got other things, you know what I mean, that you do well in.
Yeah.
You know? So it's like, I don't need you to assume.
Right. And hey, there's a part of me that sometimes the first thing I don't say is, hey, I went to beauty school.
Right. Absolutely not.
No, I'm an engineer.
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
This is
as
what
such.
we're gonna. Yes.
Yeah.
So, I mean.
Yeah, exactly. And it's good to be able to let that be known to people because agreed, I don't need them. I also, so it is interesting that you have that background, but I agree with you. I also don't like people to hear that and like what your boss did and immediately be like, oh yeah, that makes sense because that is the one thing that made sense to me.
Yeah.
And so it's like, I can also imagine you being like, dang, I almost wish I didn't have to, you know what I mean? Like have to share that always.
Yeah, and sometimes, I give people the benefit of the doubt. My boss currently, she's a woman.
Right.
And doing what she does as a woman is difficult.
Oh, always.
I mean, she's a manager in this world and in the engineering world, and it can be tough, but she's very well respected at my company. So it's just like, sometimes I just don't think, I don't take it because I know the intent of the person, right?
Versus
like,
the impact,
versus somebody who blatantly is like, this is a woman, so.
Exactly, that part.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
And that's why I love that you said, and apart from her, because I agree, we ain't singling her out. We actually need to shout her out because of the fact that, you know what I'm saying, she out here like helping with those things and also challenging. Because I actually forgot in the midst of you saying all that I'm like, wow, you're actually a woman in engineering being managed by someone who's also a woman, like trailblazers out here. You know what I mean? So like, I think that's dope. But I think what I was also thinking about is like what you said about other people who also made assumptions as well, even based on your name, even based on, all those appearances. So that is interesting. But you definitely mentioned that it was a journey. You know what I mean? I heard that and it seemed like you put some emphasis and exclamation points on it. So like, I'm curious, like, what was the schooling leading up to? Like, just all that, how'd that go?
Man,
you're right. You got some time, girl. You know what I'm saying?
How long we got?
Take your time, right?
I mean, I always say like, because I didn't have the examples and because I had to figure this out by myself, I mean, down to financial aid, down to how I was going to pay for school. Right. Like, I don't come from money. Yeah. I was like.
Yeah, exactly.
My little nail tech job wasn't going to pay for college, right? Yeah. And I didn't know what a school loan was. And, so like literally all of those things I had to figure out. Right. And my mom, so I lived with my mother growing up. Right. She lives south, so Medina County. Right. And I just knew I wasn't going to make it out there. Right. Like, there's no opportunity for me here. And the closest grocery store is 20 minutes away. Right. So I had to leave. And I'm making these decisions for myself at 17. I'm trying to figure out how I'm gonna make it. Right. Because I had no examples. And my mother was a stay-at-home mom for most of my life. Right. And my dad was in the military. So he's just, worked the same job. Right. For a long time. And so the journey started at 17.
Yeah.
I graduated from high school and I was like, all right, how am I going to start working? Because it ain't going to be here. So I decided to move out.
Right.
By the time I turned 18, I was like, all right, Mom, like, I got to go.
Right.
I found a job here in Cleveland.
Yep.
Shout out to Nail Boutique, who
Hey.
is now Pink Boutique.
Hey.
And
yes,
also, you know, rest in heaven. Yeah. Adi, we love you. And she took me under her wing at 18 years old, and I moved out and slept on my sister's couch.
Wow.
And I was doing the nail tech thing for a little bit. And once I met my now husband,
Oh my gosh.
he really encouraged me to go to college and to do the thing.
Yes.
Right? Like, I was just like, he was a sophomore in college, I believe.
Okay. At the time, yeah.
At the time. So he was trying to do his thing, and he
Right.
was like, you know, you should probably look into going to school. And I'm just like,
Nope. I'm good. All right.
you know, like, yeah. So, I mean, the nail tech thing didn't work out for me because that's a challenge in itself.
Yeah.
That I had no idea it was a challenge. So, boom, I learned something there.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Here I am, 18 years old, like, I don't know how to pay for gas.
Right.
Because I'm not
yeah.
making it like this. So my dad's company actually had an opening. So he was like, hey, come on here.
Right.
And by the end of that year, it was like November, after I graduated.
Right.
I started working there. I was making like $16 an hour. And then within the next year, in like, I want to say maybe January or February, I got my first apartment.
Okay. Hey.
And in this whole transition of becoming an adult very soon,
Right.
relative to others, I was trying to figure out if I wanted to go to college.
Right.
Okay.
Yep.
So while I was working, I just took a couple night classes, you know.
Right.
I'm like, all right, all I got time for, I'm working full time. I got a couple night classes I could take. So I started with, you know, I would go to class until 10 o'clock at night after work.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Ooh.
Yeah. So, and I mean,
Yeah.
while trying to pay my bills.
Yeah.
You know, like, I'm 18 years old. Like,
Right.
you know,
No, of course.
yeah. So, but while I went to Tri-C, taking those night classes, and I was just like, I don't know what I'm doing here. I think I took like a math class and maybe, you know, just those starter classes. And
Right.
then I was like, okay, maybe I'll just go for accounting, because I was hired in as an accounting assistant.
Right.
So maybe I'll go for accounting, and then somehow I can like make more money because now I have an associate's degree. And,
Right.
But I didn't like it. I was
Yeah.
taking business class. I don't like it. I was like,
Yeah.
I'm not thriving. It's just not, I don't think this is for me. So
Right.
boom, I was like, all right, maybe I'll take a forensic science class or something. Cause I was like, I've always loved CSI.
Yep.
Right. Like I did, but still something just wasn't there. Like,
Right.
I'm just like, I don't know. I looked into the job market doing research, and I'm just like, I don't know if this is going to be worth my time.
Right.
So then I was like, you know what? Let's go back to business.
Okay.
Let me just do marketing or something, because maybe I can make it big here in Cleveland downtown.
Right.
I could work for a magazine, or I could,
Hey.
you know, something. Gosh, I think I took my first like economics class, and I said, that's it.
Yeah, that's not. Oh, economics is out here.
I said,
gotta love them
no,
numbers.
this ain't it. I mean, so then I think I looked into a lab technician. I was like, I missed the science. I love science.
There
I
you
missed
go.
the science. Went back, lab technician. You know, I work in a hospital.
Okay.
Do some lab work. You
Right.
know, look at a microscope, because I love all of it. I love biology. I love everything science. And again, looked at the job market,
Right.
because I needed to make sure this was gonna be worth my money, my
Yeah,
time. You know,
absolutely.
I'm doing a lot. And it wasn't there. That job market just was not there.
Yeah. Not
And
surprised.
I would have to work, you know, a pretty high degree. And I was just like, you know, I don't think I want to do that.
Right.
So probably around that time is when I kind of was having like a crisis, right? I mean, time is going by. I'm racking up these student loans. I still can't figure out what I want to do. And I think I just made that post on Facebook, and then a friend I grew up with mentioned engineering. I had no idea what that was.
Right.
Looked into it, and because I wanted to do, I really love science and biology and things, I looked into chemical engineering. Because Cleveland State has a chemical engineering program for your bachelor's degree, and then you would get a master's in biomedical engineering.
Right.
So then I was like, all right, I think at this time Ebola was really big.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so I think this was like 2014, 2015, something like that.
Right.
And Ebola was really big. So I was like, man, I really want to be a part of this. Like, I want to help save lives, and I want to do the research to see about these viruses. And
Oh yeah.
I took a biology class. I was at Cleveland State, I want to say, for 2 semesters.
Right.
But once I finally got into that pre-engineering pre-engineering biology class,
Right.
I did not do well. And it was hurtful
Yeah.
because I'm like, this is what I was supposed to do. Like,
Right. Exactly.
science.
Right.
Right.
It's my
Math,
thing.
I wasn't worried about science. Like,
Yeah, it's supposed to be my thing.
yes. Like, I stayed up all night studying for this, and I think I got like a C on exam, and I was just like,
Crushed.
yes.
Because I would have been too.
Yeah. And I was just like, man, like, I studied so hard.
Right.
So I think at that point I reevaluated,
Yep.
because I talked to an advisor, because that's my only resource, right?
Yep.
I can't go to my parents,
Oh yeah.
I mean, my siblings, I'm the oldest of my dad's kids.
Yep.
And so my mom's oldest daughter, my oldest sister, she was in college at the time. So she
Okay.
helped me a little bit too. But she was also on her own journey. So
Yeah. Exactly. Doing her own thing.
So talking to the advisors, all I had at the college, and
Right.
they were like, you know what, maybe you should look into another branch of engineering if there's all these kinds of things. And it's just like,
Right. I don't want to hear that. Though.
you just spend so much time. I mean, at
Yes.
this point, it's been 5 years that I was in college, in and out part-time, and I had just went in full-time at Cleveland State. I quit my job. I went full-time to Cleveland State, and I was just like, man, like,
Right.
So I ended up actually kind of hitting a place personally, because I was like, okay, I quit my job.
Yeah. Exactly. Like,
I got to pay for an apartment. I was at my second apartment at this time. So I'm just like, I just don't know how I'm going to survive. Like,
Right.
I got bills to pay.
yeah. Absolutely.
And taking out student loans to pay my bills wasn't going to be it. So,
Right.
So my now husband, his name is Steven.
Oh, what? Who's that? No.
He was just like, why he had just he graduated from University of Toledo.
Okay.
And so he was
UT?
like, yeah, he was like, why don't you just move out here? And I'll take care of you.
Shoot.
Right.
Hold on.
It's a part of the journey.
Right.
I'll take care of you, and you can you can see if you can transfer to UT and
Okay.
see if you could get in there, and what I'm saying, and we'll just make it work so
Right.
you could go to school, because me paying my own bills at the time just wasn't feasible. It
Right.
just
Absolutely.
working full time, trying to go to school full time. Like, I wasn't trying to be in school till I was 40,
Yeah, of
taking
course.
part-time classes,
Right.
and,
Right.
all of that. Like, I'm like, I just wanna
Yeah. Want to get
I'm
out there.
ready to get out there. Yeah. So that's what I did. I transferred over to UT, and actually they, going into it, I still was a chemical engineer.
Right.
Well, I was a student,
Yep.
and I took 1 semester at UT, chemical engineering, and it was actually the intro classes to chemical engineering. And I took my first, it's a mass flow class.
Okay.
Well, it was like an intro to chemical engineering, but you did all of the concepts.
Okay.
Even though you don't know what they are yet, you're
Right.
like dabbling in it to
Yep.
see if this is what you want to do.
Got you.
And I was like, nah.
Yep.
Because at this point, I knew NASA was where I wanted to go.
Okay.
Okay. So,
Vision.
yeah. So at this point, I knew that NASA was where I wanted to go, and working in space is what I wanted to do. Yeah.
Cool as hell.
And so the advisor at the time was like, maybe you should transfer to mechanical engineering.
Okay.
Because it is more broad. You could go many directions with it. And I was just like, okay. Looked at the classes and I was like, yeah, I could do that. Yeah. Right? Chemical engineering is tough. All right, shout out to all the chemical engineers, because, man.
Y'all got it.
Yeah, that stuff is tough. So I transferred to mechanical, and then here we are today. So
wow.
Yeah, so a journey. I tried to sum it up the best that I could.
No, that was perfect.
Yeah.
Exactly. But and I wanted to also, going back to beauty. So I also didn't want to make it seem like, so I'm saying, glad that you shouted out, your previous employer back in the day.
Yeah.
Because beauty is an amazing industry.
It is.
So so I also want to be clear that I didn't mean that. I just mean there's different things to consider.
Yeah.
And so and definitely the people that make these wonderful careers out of it, that is part of the challenge though. So to make it profitable, I mean, you have to have your market, you know what I mean, cater to your certain audiences and populations, and then, and be able to provide all that. And I do know some people that, much like yourself, who I remember being their nail models, you know what I'm saying, back in the day, and now they have their profiting business. Shout out to Martina, she does the aesthetic new salon. I used to be her little nail model. All these people. And for those who don't know, Adi, the person that we shouted out, was the founder, essentially, of, what is now Pink Boutique. And so unfortunately passed, but was a tremendous, person in our community. And so and it is such a staple. People, everybody know that. If you ain't been there, you heard about it. You know what I'm saying? So you know what I'm saying? So
so I'm proud.
Yeah, to have been exactly from the ranks. You know what I'm saying? Exactly. So it's dope that you even, if you did it, that you got to participate in such a great one like that. But wow. So it sounds like, and I think I remember you saying that it was somebody who you grew up with, but I forgot the part about Facebook. So that's interesting. You actually took a chance and said, hey, if I don't know where to get the answer, somebody else got it. You know what I'm saying?
It was early days in Facebook, because right now I wouldn't be posting nothing like that.
Yeah, I agree. I was thinking that. I was like, oh yeah, but that's good that you used it, but I agree.
Yeah, but back in the day, it was new.
Yes, Facebook
Everybody
was
posted everything on Facebook.
That is true. I used it like a diary.
Yes.
I did.
So that was what I was doing. I was just, I had this long thing talking about I just don't know what to do. I'm stuck.
Yes.
Yes.
But then I love that somebody connected the dots, because I do feel like sometimes that's what's helpful. And actually, while you were saying all that, I was saying, I do love that you're a science, avid science fan.
Yeah.
Right. And that you already had that. But for those who are considering it or don't know, I remember I was in a really dope program in high school at the Science Center. You know what I mean? And I had never been introduced to science in that way before.
Yeah.
And I was like, this actually is really cool.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? So I was like, those programs, those are so great to give you that introduction.
With my own, I have a 13-month-old at home, and I can't wait to just introduce him to all of these things that I did not have the opportunity to do.
And that's what I'm saying.
And it's really no fault of my parents, because they didn't know.
No.
Right?
Exactly.
My mother's a stay-at-home mom. My dad's military. They ain't worried about why the sky is blue.
No.
You know?
Yeah. And then there's really no need to either.
Yeah.
There's no need to question it or explore it.
Right.
Yeah.
So I just.
Oh yeah, but that's gonna be great. It is, and because I do think it's that introduction and exposure that helps. And so, in your case, you at least knew enough about what you wanted to do. You just didn't know necessarily which career path.
Right.
And so, and there are other ways to find that out now. And I also know there's some great assessments that sometimes help with that. But even then, they can still only help but so much. So it's it really is great that you were able to take basically advantage of your network. You know what I'm saying? And have that conversation, ask that question, and have somebody offer that.
Yeah.
So I love it. But I also love that you had some great support systems along the way.
Yeah.
And I joked and acted like I know who her husband was, but I know him very well. I actually got shouted out at their wedding, y'all. To my own horn, because I'm actually, we had went out and I actually helped connect. So yeah, you know what I'm saying? I'm not a matchmaker or anything, but it did work out. So hit me up, y'all. But it did work out in this case. And I love it. And I think, and that's what I was going to say first. So before you even said how supportive he was, I was going to say too, what has it been like being with somebody that you knew since you were young? I know y'all have changed over time, unless y'all the same. You know what I'm saying?
No. And oh, wow.
Hey, take your time.
I'm trying to figure out how to answer this question, because it's big. It's a big one, right?
Yeah.
I met him when I was 18.
Right.
So amongst in this journey, very early on,
right,
I was so lost in so many different ways.
I hear you.
And we always, him and I,
Yep.
let me not get emotional.
Yeah.
Okay? But him and I always reflect on our own journey.
Right.
Right?
Of course.
Because it's been one.
Yeah. I bet. Yeah.
So, you know, I can't take all the credit.
Right.
You know, I just think between the two of us, we just work very well as a team.
Right.
And when he was in college, I was very supportive.
Right.
Right. In all kinds of ways. And then it must have just been his turn.
Yeah.
When he graduated and he was done. He graduated in 2014.
Got you.
And I graduated in 2019.
Got you.
Right? Or did he graduate in 2013? Yeah.
Yep. We'll have to
If
check
he's
the math.
listening,
Right.
I'm sorry.
Yeah. We'll check. We'll verify.
Yeah. But either way, because it was like December, so I always get it mixed up. But
Right.
but we worked so well as a team. Like I mean, I would say early on, you know, right? Like it goes deep, okay?
Yeah.
Like there's really a thing about finding your person. And
Let's go.
I think it's just how the universe played out, right? Because there is so much growth that happened between the time I met him and where we are now.
Absolutely.
And I think it's just it's just like it's just constant communication. And really wanting to support your partner.
Exactly. Well, and I appreciate that because, like I said, I do feel like that's another whole word right there because I think, well, that's the point. So if y'all met that young, obviously he wasn't making like six figures.
No.
And, you know what I'm saying? He wasn't out, you know, whatever. So it's like.
He's Mr. Subway.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Hey, shout out to that too. You know, we all had our jobs back in the day. You know what I'm saying? My other girl talked about Wendy's. It was her first job. You know, all that. You know, I've been there.
Right.
And it's like, you know, so, and then that's the thing. So, you know, because that's also, you know, the debate. Like, do you really marry like potential or should you, somebody that's already established? You know, exactly. You know, we go there sometimes. But it's like, I know when you was young, ain't nobody was doing nothing. We was all just figuring it out. We were just here. Exactly. Teenagers at that.
Teenagers.
Literally. And now we know that those are babies. You know, I be trying to tell these high schoolers, they think that their world be over. I'm like, boo-boo.
Right.
You're still a child.
I know.
You need to sit down. Exactly.
But we've all been there. Yeah.
Yes. And for them, this is their crisis. I mean, for right now, I get it. Your girlfriend broke up with you and the world is about to end. I get it. I get it. But you going to have another one. But it's all right. You know what I'm saying? But it's cool though. Right now, it's a big deal.
Yeah.
So I get that. But then it's like, so that's one. But then I think too, that support that I heard that he exuded was great, but it went both sides.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? And so like, and I think it's incredible to hear you say that, like, you know, it might have been his turn and like the humility that took though, because yes, like I think that's a wonderful thing. And I think it's always been great. And, you know, shout out to Brene Brown. She was at a conference I was at this weekend. Y'all got to meet her. I was fangirling. I was like, ooh, Brene. I got to meet her, even though we weren't nowhere near each other. But I'm like, yo, she in the room, like she know me. But she talked about too, like sometimes you do have to share.
Yes.
You know, like in relationships and be able to like, sometimes if I only have so much to give, if you only have 60% to give, that person should give the remaining 40, you know, or if it's flopped, you know, do all that.
Yeah.
If a person currently has their stuff where it's taking up more of the time, support them through it.
Yeah.
They can turn around, do the same for you. And so I feel like I don't know that everybody's always willing to do that.
Yes.
But you're hearing from somebody who is in a successful marriage that like, you know, it's worth it though. You know what I mean? It's not wrong. It's not like you were taking a back seat. You didn't necessarily feel that way. You were simply supporting at the time.
Like I said earlier, I mean, he's the one who was like, you should go to college.
Yeah. And encourage you from the beginning. Yep.
And I mean, it goes really, really deep in so many different ways.
Yep.
I mean, just how people are brought up, right? I mean, his bringing up is
Totally
a complete 180 from mine. Right? Two very supportive parents.
Yep. That are still together.
Yes.
They're gonna be
they're
together forever.
still together.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, and you know, just making sure his education was
first,
Yeah.
Yep.
I mean, did everything to make sure he was in a good school.
Yep.
And, you know, not that my parents didn't, but
of course.
It's
the value,
deep,
the way
right?
they valued it was
Yes,
different. Yeah,
it's
that's
deep,
all.
Right.
Yep.
So, you know, I mean, he knew that, I mean, he obviously saw some potential that I was going to do what I said I was going to do.
Absolutely.
And he wasn't about to just take me for me to just give up. Right.
No.
So, I mean,
And,
yeah.
And I think sometimes that's great though too, right? It's just that like we should definitely like, of course, believe in ourselves, which can be hard to do.
Yeah.
We've talked about the self-doubt. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? That's a topic that we know it should be near and dear to hearts by now on this show.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So we definitely talked about that. But how awesome is it to have people in your life who see you, you know what I mean, who like know you, but then want what's best for you.
Right.
You know what I mean? And so like, and they obviously he didn't want anything from you at that time. He literally just wanted you to succeed.
Right, just-
you know, and to help you on that path towards
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
And so like, and was willing to take a chance on it. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like, why don't you come out here? Why don't I ease the
Yeah.
load? And let's shout that out because like there aren't enough supportive partners who do that. And I feel like that's great to hear, you know, people who are willing to take that step for their other half, which has only helped y'all in the long run.
Yeah.
Because first of all, y'all still together. You know what I mean? And now you both have careers.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? At the end of the day. So you're able, do you feel like you're now able to kind of like reap the benefits together? Like, does it feel more
Yes.
of that? Okay.
Yes. You know, because he's a planner,
Okay.
and he always said like, now he's like, okay, we need to think about our next 5 years, or you
Yep.
know, so everything is planned. I mean, even before I graduated, you know, he had his own little plan.
Yep.
But I forgot where I was going.
Yeah, but and with that, I feel like he was definitely able to fill in the gaps, you know, where
Yeah.
necessary, because you don't necessarily think about things in that way.
Yes. So you you were asking, you know,
Yes. About,
if we're the benefits, yes.
Yes.
So, you know, so now, you know, we got engaged, we got
Right.
married, we bought our house,
hey.
had a baby, right?
Oh, yeah.
And so we're in a good place now,
Oh, yeah.
right? Where we are comfortable
Yep.
to take care of our house, our
Yep.
home,
That first. Yep.
to take care of our family.
Absolutely.
I mean, really not just financially, but
Exactly.
in a lot of different ways,
Oh,
right?
yeah.
I mean, we have a foundation,
Right.
you know, to bring our son
Yep.
up. So,
And to build from.
yeah.
Absolutely.
Right. And because sometimes we always reflect like, you know, what if I got pregnant like while I was in college?
Right. Right.
I mean,
Yep.
we wouldn't be here today. It
Yeah.
would have been very difficult. Yeah. So,
But also, how amazing is it that you were able to have a child and then like build up that family with somebody as supportive, like who can help you through those.
yeah.
So like, and even though that wasn't necessarily the challenge y'all faced, y'all clearly faced challenges along the way.
Yeah,
You know what I
right.
mean? And so like I think what was awesome about what you said though is that, yes, you do need somebody that is willing to afford that commitment and wants to do that with you. You know what I mean? And so like, they're willing to, you know, put in those steps because yeah, like relationships are not always rosy. Like that's not what it means. That's not what it
No.
looks like. You know what I mean? And like the bigger and like I heard this weekend, the bigger the wedding doesn't necessarily mean
No.
bigger the success. You know what I mean? And so like none of that, you know, it would at the end of the day, what matters is how you show up for one another. You know what I mean? How supportive is that person to you in times of difficulty and when you're doing well?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And who can you take life on with
Yeah.
at the end of the day? So I love that, you know, y'all have that.
And I wanna say too, he also was not intimidated by the fact that I was going to be an engineer
Oh,
and make more money than him,
hey, come on.
right?
Yes.
I mean, there are some men out there
yeah, that's a problem.
who are a part of the problem.
Yeah.
I mean, partners,
Yep.
who
Yep,
are
yep,
a part of the problem.
Yep.
But to him, me being, first of all, like a Latina woman,
Oh, yes. Let's go.
it was never to him like he never saw a weird thing about it. Like he never said, "Oh no, you can't do that,"
Yeah, exactly.
or like, "Oh no, like you'll never be respected," or
right.
you know what I mean? Like,
Oh God, I love that, and that's why I'm all empowered about my women. Y'all know I love my women because obviously I have a lot of women guests.
Yeah.
But I just, you know, part of the conference as well was it was hosted by Sarah Jake Roberts,
Okay.
who is this phenomenal pastor who has blown up, and she also she put on this conference herself. So a lot of us came because we follow her. You know what I mean? And all these things. Her husband also has a career, but interestingly enough, he talked about how like she has blown up. You know what I mean? She has all this incredible
Yeah.
following. She does all these things.
Yeah.
But that man did not say, same like you said, that he's intimidated by it. If anything, he likes, you know, basking in her shine. You know what I mean? That makes them look good together.
Right.
And I thought the same thing. And her dad came out and was like, he's also has his own name for him. Girl, he's TD Jakes. Like, everybody should know him. But it's like, he was like, I don't mind being called Sarah's dad versus, you know what I mean, who I am.
Okay.
Yeah, like, I don't mind, like, being able to see my kid shine.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And in his case, seeing his partner shine.
Yeah.
And so I do love that because I'm like, agreed. Like, once again, not only is that going to be beneficial for y'all as a group, you know what I mean? But yes, like, being able to know that certain people have strengths. We all bring something to the table. And like, this is only going to benefit both of us.
Yeah.
Please don't see it as a threat.
Right.
At the end of the day. And I do think that's what makes dating hard though, for like single people that like, yes, there are some people that will find that intimidating, like you just mentioned, and won't even pursue certain things.
Right.
Because they're not able to see the value behind it.
Yeah, because some people will ask me, oh, like, how's your husband feel that you're like an engineer? And like, what do you,
Why are you even
what,
asking?
what does that even mean?
Exactly. And how is he supposed to feel? So like, bad? Like, what you wanted to hear?
Like, you know, I mean, they do say engineers got God complexes.
Oh, hey.
But, you know, I could turn it off.
Yeah, exactly. There you go. So you know how to, balance. It's about balance. Absolutely.
Yep.
But yeah, definitely that. And that's what I think is awesome. And I love that, you know, and now you're able to do it, like you said, while balancing being, you know, wife and now a mom. And so like, has that made it any harder?
Yes.
Adding that to the table?
Yes.
I bet. Like, y'all heard it. Yeah, basically.
Yeah,
but like,
you know, I don't know. Being a mom has been something very, very hard to adjust to.
Got you.
And, you know, sometimes I feel alone in that. And I'm a working mom on top of that, right? Like, wow. Because in that, people, you going to still work?
Right. Oh, yeah, that's always the question.
Why don't you just stay home?
Oh, Lord.
You know?
Yeah.
And it's just like, wow.
Yeah, are we supposed to give up our careers when we have kids?
You know, and it's hard. I mean, trust me, some days I'm just like, wow, like.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. How did I even,
today was one of those days. But honestly, shout out to stay-at-home moms because I could not do it.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I agree.
I work for my mental health.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Working is for me.
Got it. Yep.
Right. And I need to do it. But working as a mom is hard because you get this guilt like, should I be home with my baby?
Yep.
You know, like, instead of sending him to daycare,
right,
someone else taking care of my kids, you know. And then it's just you work all day, you get home, and then second shift starts up, right? You got to do all the things. So the adjustment is tough, right? It's tough. And no one prepares you for it.
Right. I agree. Oh,
yeah, and you're a mom of 3, okay?
Yeah, girl. All right, still figuring it out. Yes.
So I have a whole new outlook on motherhood since becoming a mom, right?
Right.
I mean, all my sisters are moms, except one. But for the most part, all my sisters are moms.
Right.
And I didn't know anything until I became one myself.
I know. I mean, it just, it opens you up the eyes.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It's tough. I mean, that's all I can say without getting too...
Oh, no, of course. But like, and I appreciate what you're saying though.
Yeah.
Because as a fellow working mom.
Yeah.
I agree though. There's always, and even those questions that you got, I mean, again, like, well, I also think it's interesting that people are always going to ask, always going to question you on what you're doing. Everything. You know what I mean? Like as if they know better, but it's also like, it doesn't always come from a great place. So that's why I like, don't think that we should always feed into those questions because people are always and people are also going to analyze either something that they don't understand or something they don't appreciate. And so like, they'd rather make you question it. You know what I mean? Instead of just celebrating you for it and just giving you the pat on the back that they should be doing.
Yeah.
You know, people love to do that, especially from hidden places. That's why social media can be that tricky place to navigate.
Yeah.
But also like in other ways too, because maybe they see things that they would like to do in you, you know what I mean, that they're not there yet. So they'd rather, question you and make you, wonder how you're able to do it all.
Yeah.
But of course, as getting back to the fellow working mom, I think it's awesome. You know what I mean? And I just think like our children do need to see those examples.
Yes.
Why not see it in us?
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
So they're going to see a Latina in STEM,
Yes.
you know what I'm saying, out here engineering.
Yeah.
Yo, mom, like, I
Right.
think that's the best one.
I know.
You know what I'm saying? So like, come on now. Like,
Yeah.
how is that not, a great example in and of itself that like, you can do these things, that these are great things to do. And I'm with you on the identity piece. I agree. I would get way too bored at the house. If I was to say, I agree that stay-at-home mom in and of itself is a tremendous job.
Oh my God.
That's just like I said, education. When I was in the pandemic, I was like, I don't know how the teachers is doing it. I'm not patient. I don't get it. But it's just like, I agree. I would get bored at home. It just gives me purpose.
Yeah.
So there's nothing wrong with that. I don't feel like it's wrong to lean into that, to shine in that. And that in the process, I think it actually does help us to become better moms, honestly. You know what I mean? Because when we get to shine and we do these things and living our lives well and purposefully and intentionally, like that helps us to do parenting well as well. I don't want to show up like half, like a half of a person to my kids.
Right.
I want them to see me doing things that I like to do.
Right.
And then inspiring them in the process.
Yeah.
So so I'm glad you're already doing that, and you're already thinking about all the science that you're gonna bestow upon.
Yeah. I mean, we've taken him to the science center already.
Look at that.
I am planning to take him to the eclipse that's happening next year.
Oh hey,
At the
shoot.
science center. So yeah,
These are all the things.
It's all the things, but being a mom is definitely difficult. And in my career, being a mom is a whole nother thing.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, just working in a male dominated field,
Right.
and being a mother, it's very, very interesting.
Right.
I feel like the world's becoming a little bit better, but it also depends on what industry you're in.
Oh yeah.
Some industries are a little, like my industry right now, they're so understanding.
Yep.
Like being a mom,
Yep.
they are so supportive.
Yep.
My flexibility is unmatched.
Oh,
like
yeah.
it's all the things now in manufacturing.
A little different.
I mean, I was pregnant.
Right.
Walking out on the floor.
Oh yeah.
Talking to people.
Yep.
And sometimes the way that I would get looked at, or the way that I would get the response, and just the whole interaction was just very awkward.
Oh yeah.
Right. So it's just,
Oh yeah.
it's a battle all the time, but
Right.
I'm lucky enough now that my job makes being a mother a little bit easier.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And that's awesome, because I do feel like we can only benefit again from that even more, because if you're able to balance being a mom and doing other things, y'all need to understand those are the best multitaskers. Lord
Yeah.
Jesus. 'Cause
Right.
like for real, it's an
Tell
asset.
me about it.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
You get tested in new ways.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So like, absolutely. But speaking of your job, which
Yeah.
again happens to be, so was the NASA dream prior to knowing about engineering, or like, was it after?
Honestly, I don't even know what sparked my interest in space, right? Because I don't have anyone around me. I don't have friends or family or anybody who worked in it, or
Right.
and I don't know if there was even an event that happened that I was just like, man, I want to do that.
Right.
I think maybe, when I worked that first job in accounting at my dad's company, he worked for an aerospace company where they built parts for airplanes, and they did some national defense for like military vehicles and stuff like that.
Right.
And weapons. Maybe that might have did a little bit of something, because
right. To spark a little something.
because it was cool to see that the parts that they made went on an aircraft.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
So I think initially I got really interested I wanted to work on airplanes. I've always loved airplanes. The air show is just,
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
and something about just that was always really interesting to me, but I never thought of it as like I could do that.
Right.
Right.
Oh yeah.
So then, I don't know if things just trailed off, and somehow I found space in the meantime.
Right.
So.
But eventually, yeah.
I was just like, I mean.
And now you know it's a dream.
Yeah.
And so what's cool is you already have your dream job, But even with that,
Yeah.
you still have
I still have
further
yeah.
dreams.
So I'm in the dream industry. I guess
Got
I could
it.
say
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
I'm
Oh,
in
yeah.
the dream
To be more exact.
industry.
Yep.
And the job that I do as a system safety engineer is something that I have always found myself doing.
Okay.
Whether it was manufacturing, I always had like a very big interest in safety.
Got you.
But the safety in manufacturing and the safety that I do is very different. But I always had that safety thing. So, you know, I even say how I got this job was something was something else.
Was it?
Yeah, because it literally fell into my lap.
Really?
Yeah, we want to go there.
I mean, yeah.
All right.
So now I want to know. Now you even got me on like, what happened?
So
Yeah.
I working in manufacturing, I was working at a company in Solon.
Okay.
And once I got pregnant, I was driving to work every day. It was like 40 minutes.
Yep.
And driving home every day.
Oh, yeah.
And I knew, I was like, this is not what I want to do. Like, I'm not supposed to, like, I'm not supposed to be doing this.
Yep.
There's just, it's like I don't know what you would call it.
Oh, yeah. Intuition
But
for
something,
sure.
the universe, somebody
Let me know.
telling me that I am not supposed to be here.
Yep.
And it was actually a very emotional experience because I was like,
Yeah.
I'm going to be 40 minutes away from my baby.
Right.
I don't like it.
Yep. I hear that.
Right. And my job, just the culture of my job, I just knew I wouldn't be happy.
Right.
So, but I knew I didn't want to wait until I had my baby
Okay.
because that was just going to make my life very difficult.
Yep.
So I don't know how far along I was, but I decided for actually a year before I got this job, I had been dibble-dabbling and looking at different ways to get into space.
Right.
So I had made contact with a person at NASA, a program manager. I found her on like LinkedIn, and I had reached out to her. So for about a year, she was helping me get into like apply for different contractors and stuff because NASA's a little difficult to get into. So she was like, you know, do these things. So one day I was just like, you know, I'm just gonna look. I mean, I'm pregnant. You know, it's probably not the best thing to like go looking for a new job right now. But I did it anyways.
Hey.
So at my current company, I ended up finding a job that I was like, I can do that.
Oh, yeah.
Which is what I do now. I was like, I can do that. Like, that's, you know.
Right.
And I was just like, you know what? I'm going to apply. I'm just going to do it.
Yeah.
At this point, I'm like, I don't even know. Like 3 or 4 months pregnant.
Yeah. Hey.
Like, I'm just going to do it. And I did it. And it wasn't too long after that they were like, hey, we want to bring you in for an interview.
Oh, come
and
on.
I about passed out because I literally applied on a whim, just on a hunch. Like I was just like, I'm just gonna do it. Like whatever, see what happens. Like maybe they won't even call me back because it's the government, so they won't call me back, and I'll be like,
yeah, exactly, whatever.
You know, my baby
Same
will be
place.
born.
Yeah, fine.
So I was like, oh my God, I don't know what to do.
Yeah,
I didn't expect them to like reach out to me within. It was like a week or two.
Right.
So I did it. I went to the interview.
Yep.
And I mean, that is another thing. I was pregnant and I was going to an interview for an engineering position.
Oh, wow. Wow.
How do I do that?
Yeah.
Like,
wow.
How do I didn't know what kind of people I was going to be talking to. I didn't know.
True. Yep.
And the way I'm.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I'm not white.
Yep. I mean, hey.
Honestly, just that whole aspect and being in engineering is difficult.
I bet it is.
So I was like, all right, I'm just do it. So I actually hid my pregnancy. I went to the first interview and I wore something because at this point I was like 5 months pregnant.
Okay.
Or 6 months, 5 or 6 months pregnant. And I hid it. So I had like a shirt on and I was just, at the interview, I'm short, so I could sit under the table. Yep. I did all the things. I was actually telling myself I was going to tell them I was pregnant, but I was going to feel the room, read the room,
and
let
me see
if
first.
It felt right.
Yes, if
it didn't feel right to tell them at that point in time because I was like, I don't even know if I'm going to get it.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, so why even put myself out there?
Right, why bother?
So I left the interview. I didn't feel too good about it. whatever. I don't even know. It was like a month later or maybe 2 weeks later. They're like, hey, we want to bring you back for a second interview. They want to take you on a tour.
Oh.
And I'm like, oh no, I'm like really pregnant.
Right. So now I can't hide it.
Like, how am I going to go on a tour really pregnant?
Yeah,
Like,
really.
they don't even know. So again, I still wore something I could try to hide.
Yep.
And then the whole thing went really well.
Okay.
And at the end of the interview, they asked me like, hey, so when can you start if we were to, extend an offer? And I was just like, well, how about we go into what's her name's office real quick?
Hey, right. Gotta have a private combo.
Yeah. So that's when I disclosed my pregnancy.
Right.
And it was received so well. Thinking about it, sometimes I still get emotional because all of the anxieties that I thought about, like, just
out the window.
They were just like, oh, okay, that's fine.
Oh, what?
Yeah.
I would have never. Child, I'd have been like, no. Y'all for real?
Yeah. Like, I was just like, oh my God, okay.
Wow.
So I was like, I can start, I guess, like, as soon as you want me to.
Right.
I just kind of need in mind. Yeah, I just kind of need to know if I'm gonna get any benefits.
Yeah,
or like,
exactly.
how does all this work? Right. I mean,
exactly.
And they're just like, okay, we'll look into it. We'll let you know. Blah,
wow.
Blah, blah. So, all right, cool. And I was just like, I left that interview. I went home and I told Steven, I was like, I think they're gonna hire me.
Right. Which is great.
And he was like, what?
Right.
I'm like, I don't even know how this happened. Like, I literally applied for this job just because.
Yeah,
I was like,
just to try it.
Just to try it. And then, like, oh my God, like, I'm literally about to, like, my dream is like right here.
It's about to happen.
Yeah. So yeah, they actually ended up, I was like 7 months pregnant by the time they like extended the offer. And they said they're willing to just like wait for me.
Come on. What the?
Yeah, so.
But it reminds me of like, you lose 100% of the shots you don't take.
Yeah.
You got to be willing to take it. I mean, because otherwise you would have been in the same place. You know what I'm saying? Doing your thing, trying to figure it out, whatever. Also unhappy.
Yeah,
but,
right.
Which you knew. But then it's like, why not, y'all? And it's true. I do think that in that case, I would have been thinking the same thing. Who's going to even take a chance on me? Like, is this even the right time? Like, should I just wait? Should I just whatever? You know what I mean? And wait for this to be an ideal condition. Is it ever ideal, though? Like, you got to be able to just try.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I mean, I just took a leap. I was just like, I'll just do it because I can't pass this opportunity up. I had, for as long as I had been looking, I never came across something that sounded like something I could actually do.
Yes. And this was the one that did. Come on.
Let's do it.
Exactly. So. And then, like you said, you hinted at it a little bit, but you are, and now you're in there. But like, and I know you have other things that you want to do, which I also want to know about, but you said that you are a Latina there, you know what I mean? And that's actually been one of the main things that we've been shouting out, you know what I mean? The fact that you're a Latina in STEM.
Yeah.
But I mean, how is that navigating a space where, are there other Latinos there?
No.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. So when I started, a lot of, you kind of look around. Right?
Oh yeah, I bet.
And post-pandemic office life is different.
Oh yeah.
So when I got there, they're actually like, oh, they work from home on this day, and then
now we're doing that hybrid up in here.
Right, it's just like a lot of everybody, and but I mean, it's predominantly older white men.
Okay.
So outside of my boss, I work directly with like on my team is one other woman.
Wow.
So. And yes, I'm the only person of color in the whole
thing,
and at least in my
department.
Yeah, you got project managers and like other people.
Wow.
Like one of my project managers, she's actually Black, so that's great. I love it. I think me and her kind of.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, we see.
Yeah, and she's on a couple of my projects, and it's really nice to just have somebody else who looks like me.
Let's go.
Who kind of talks like me.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Who is just
so needed.
It's really nice. So I love doing things for her.
Yeah.
It's what you need, what you want.
Right. Exactly. And it's refreshing. But
But honestly, everybody in the office is so very nice. I've never gotten any kind of comment because I'm a woman or because I don't look like them
or
because and or even just like, 'cause I have a photo of Steven and I.
Right.
And even then, like, you know, because my husband's Black, if nobody knows, but
Hey.
even then, like, nobody says anything or makes any kind of weird comments, like,
Right.
and it's great.
Yes, exactly.
And it's great.
But that is great. Well, and I am, because I mean, we already, super surprised that they were so, welcoming even with the pregnancy. So like,
Yeah.
we knew they had to be nice people, you know what I'm
Right.
saying, to even be already understanding.
Right.
But it is interesting to hear that, like, I'm sure that's still that effect though that happens, like when we go to predominantly white universities, and like
Yeah.
it still does something when you look up and you don't necessarily see anybody like that looks like you, and that can be discouraging in and of itself. You know what I mean? And so like, but I'm glad to hear that although there's some, not many, there's some, you are still in a supportive environment, so that's
Yeah.
great.
Yeah.
But I can see a lot of people, because they don't see a lot of people that look like them, it makes it easy to write it off too. That like, obviously maybe Latinos don't deserve to be, and like a lot of them aren't doing it. Or like, and I don't know if they heard it back in the day, if they also thought it was something they couldn't obtain,
Yeah.
if somebody didn't make that connection for them. But it's
Yeah.
like, I mean, do you encourage others, or like
Oh my
what
God.
messages?
Like,
Yeah.
I'm telling you, when you told me to come here,
Yes.
like, I got emotional. I'm just since becoming a mom, y'all.
Yeah. It's all over, all the emotions.
Everything is all the time. But I was so happy because for so long, I have been wanting to really get out there and
Yeah.
like encourage
Yep.
like women.
Yep.
And, like anybody. You
Oh, yeah.
can do anything.
Absolutely.
It doesn't matter.
Yep,
And even
let's
if
go.
they say something,
All right.
you made it though.
Exactly. You're in that space for a reason. For you to even be having that conversation with them.
Yeah.
You made it to the room.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? And so
exactly.
like, yes, you
So-
obtain that opportunity.
Yeah, and it takes a little bit of harder work, right?
Yeah.
Nothing was handed to me.
Right. Absolutely.
But I don't let the way I look or where I came from
Absolutely.
really hinder how far I'll go.
Come on.
Yeah.
Hello.
No,
Yes.
because I can do anything that you do,
Oh yeah.
being however you identify.
Right. Exactly.
I can do it too.
Absolutely.
I have never been, maybe I don't know as much as you, or maybe I don't have as much experience as you, but I'm gonna learn.
yeah.
So
And the things that some people know too, like it just could be different. Like I know other things that maybe you don't like, and that's what's awesome is that like if we're in collaboration and on a team, I can potentially bring things to the table that are different from you.
Yeah.
But like that's why we all deserve to be here. You know what I mean?
and-
And it diversifies it.
yeah, and honestly, I think also I've been fortunate enough where I have never came across somebody
All right.
who ever said anything to my face.
Yep.
Right. So I've never been or had an experience where somebody was kind of like, we don't want her on this project because,
Exactly.
or like, I don't want her in this meeting because, or I don't want her, like excluding me because of anything. Right. And I'm sure there's other people who've had different experiences,
Right.
but I can't resonate with that,
Exactly.
and honestly, sometimes I try to figure it out.
Right.
Why? Why did you treat her different, but not me?
Right. Oh yeah, absolutely.
And
Right. And why did, yeah, exactly. You didn't keep it all the same. But yep, and different treatment.
yeah.
Man. But I do love, like I said, that you're here now, that you're able to do it with, like I said, such a supportive, family, all that husband and all that.
Yeah.
And like I said, I also love that, again, bringing it full center, full circle.
Yeah.
He took a chance on you essentially too. So just like I said that when you met him, he didn't necessarily have the 6 figures. Same on the flip side.
Yeah.
He took a chance on you and now he's with somebody that's literally has this amazing career. You know what I mean? So it's like, obviously it was a great chance to take, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? And like, but again, it was because of all that. So like
Yeah.
he saw that, but also I'm glad that you saw your own abilities too and was willing to take chances on yourself and are now here,
Yeah.
part of the Latinas in STEM. So
Yeah.
like, I love it.
Yeah.
But I am curious about like the last thing I was curious about was, that dream, the last dream you said, the last step, the civil servant, I think, or something like
yeah.
that. What is that? I
Oh,
don't
okay.
know.
I mean, honestly, from what I understand, it's like being a federal employee. They have all of their terminologies.
Okay.
So yeah, being a civil servant means that you actually work for that administration.
Okay.
I mean, I'm still trying to understand it, but
Right. But but it is a whole new step to it.
yeah, it's a whole new. So
Whole
right
new
now,
layer.
like I'm like a contractor.
Got it.
So the way things work is I still am trying to understand it.
Yeah, it's a lot to navigate. Yep.
It's a lot because like I am tied to a contract that the company was hired for through NASA.
Got it. Yeah. And have to. Yeah.
Yeah. So like every year actually, or I don't know, like there's other contracts that we would have to win
Just to, yep.
for me to keep my job.
Right.
So if we didn't win, like we're still trying to figure out if we won this next contract.
Right.
And I didn't know what that meant for me if we didn't win it because I'm tied to the other contract. Like,
Exactly.
yeah, so it's all really interesting. Now, the difference if I become a civil servant with NASA,
Yep.
I would be under NASA
Got it.
and I would have a sense of security. I wouldn't be tied to a contract, if that makes sense.
Oh, yeah. So
Right?
you'd be right in there. I got it.
Yep.
And more part of the framework. Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. So that's dope. So let's go. Science dreams. You know what I'm saying? So like, yes. And as a goal, do you ever want to end up in space yourself? Would you ever do
Oh
it?
gosh, no.
Okay.
You know,
You just want to help. You know what I'm saying? From down here.
You know, as much as I talk, and I would
Okay.
really,
Just making
really
sure.
love
I wanna see how
to
far
do
this
it.
goes.
Yeah,
Okay.
I would really love to do it. That to me is something that I don't think I have the passion enough to get there.
Okay.
Right? Like,
But you're going to be part of the people helping them
but
to
I'm
do
gonna
what
be
they're
a part
going to
of
do.
the people who, yes,
Help them to do all that.
to make
Absolutely.
sure that they all good up there. Yeah,
Exactly.
So
Which is dope.
yeah.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much
Yeah.
for all that you shared, like all these great things, you know, and encouraging others, like you mentioned, because I definitely think we do need to hear that. You know what I mean? See
Yeah.
more people like y'all.
I
the
mean,
face.
even for like, I'm more than happy to talk to anybody
Got you. Okay.
about
Hey.
anything.
Right.
When it comes to this, to STEM
Exact-
careers. I mean,
Right.
navigating college, like I had to figure it out by myself.
Right.
And I know a lot of students out there are doing the same thing.
Exactly. And just trying to make it,
Just
figure it
trying
out
to
by the way. Yep.
figure it out because they just don't have
Yep.
they don't have those
Guiding
examples in their lives. Yeah.
Exactly. And that guidance. So like, or, you know, in the right places. So agreed. So I do love that. And that's what I'm hoping that like, just like somebody was able to be a connector for you and help you. I agree. I love that you're offering that you wouldn't mind doing that for somoneone else. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And helping them.
Oh my
So
God.
if anybody did want to do that, like, and reach out to you or anything, is there like
Yeah.
an email? How can they find you?
No, I mean, I don't have none of that.
Okay. But
Right?
like,
It's more like you just let me know.
got you. So yeah, y'all hit me up and then I'll make that connection.
Yeah.
And then y'all like, yes. But good to know that, yes.
Yeah,
But
'cause I don't have no crazy like business out there or like
yeah.
I'm not out there like that.
Right. But you are definitely here to
But
help.
I'm here. I'm a resource.
Yes, exactly.
For sure.
And I love that. And so that's
Yeah.
what we want is that like definitely if we can, you know, please feel encouraged, you know, definitely let us know. And then that's the thing. That's all we wanted is to show more examples of, you know, who is
Yeah.
out there, who's part of this, why you should be part of it. And if you're at all considering it, let this be your reminder like that you can and that you should. And you deserve to.
Yeah. No matter
yeah.
what you look like, matter it's
yeah.
that believe in yourself piece.
Oh yes. Oh, you know it. Takes time.
Yeah.
But yeah, and you did it, and you went through all those classes too. That like I remember when Miss Fitzgerald was talking about those introductory classes. Those are also the weeding out classes,
are.
is what she told us.
They are.
and she was telling us that like so like you could have used that as
Yeah.
further validation to not do it.
Yeah.
When you pulled through it, and you were
Yeah.
like, and if anything, because you had been through that journey, it was able to help you push through and be
Yeah.
like, well, I had been here before.
Yeah. I mean, and in STEM, all of these things actually start in college.
There you go.
I mean, you see your classroom
Yep.
and you don't look like everybody else.
Right. Absolutely.
I mean, just women, like in all of my classes, there'd probably be like 5 females
Come on now.
to like a 50-person class,
Yeah, that's
you know?
which can be daunting. But
Right.
yeah.
And then now you bring it down and I'm a minority.
Right. So you totally on an island.
And then
there.
I'm just like, okay.
Yeah, you're saying. Yeah, so
Yeah.
it definitely isn't the norm.
Yeah. So,
But it's definitely worth pursuing nonetheless. And I
Yeah.
love that thanks to people like you, it's going to become the norm, y'all. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? So like eventually this won't be something that we're talking about.
Yeah.
Hopefully we'll be saying like
Right.
how awesome that your whole graduating class or like, you know what I mean? With time.
yeah.
But it will be great to see more. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? Bring out there. So yes.
Yes.
Yay. So with that, thank you very much
Thank
for
you for
coming
having
on.
me. I'm like,
Absolutely.
I really hope somebody resonates with the
Yes.
conversation because
Yeah.
I mean, I'm so passionate about
Right.
bringing other people into the fields, not just engineering.
Absolutely.
STEM,
Period.
STEAM is now a thing.
Hey, that's right.
Yeah,
that's right.
including the arts in there. Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
exactly. Yeah, good point. So yeah, and definitely feel encouraged that there are ways to be able to do that. It's awesome if that's, the strengths you have in there and there's a place for you. And because of that, there's also money available too. You know what I'm saying? Because if you're doing it and there aren't, necessarily people, there are people that will back you up for that and will support you on it and can help make that dream a reality.
Oh, yes.
So therefore, so thank you so very much. Thank you all for listening. And yes, if it did resonate, if you got any feedback, you know what I'm saying? If it's generating any questions, please feel free to reach out. Yes. As always, thank you for tuning in and, to do it again on Friday because we're going to do it every Feel Good Friday. We're going to bring some more. Thank you.